Okay, so you know you gotta come back to truth, come back to honesty, and what would happen if this actually happened? So for example, let's look at the initial beginning of the scene. When you walked in, do you like him, Paul?
Yeah, I mean he's a great
friend, right? Now do you know that he's upset at you at this point?
No.
No. It's just I've been working and you know, so if he's upset with you when you first walk in, it seems to me that you would have that initial like, oh, there, whoa, where's Betty? But there's my bud, right?
Yeah.
And then you'd have that moment of like, hey, and then Leo needs to give you some kind of a vibe of like, you're not welcome. And then you've got to take that in and go like, well, what the heck? What did I do? Now Betty's angry at me. Now Jughead, these names are just freaking crazy. Now Jughead is angry at me. Like, what's going on? And then that would be eventually, after a long time, would be the thing that would drive you to say, hey, can I sit?
Okay.
And you just kind of rolled right into, can I sit? Right?
Yeah.
Without touching on any of the things that were important that you told me that had to do with the story beforehand.
Yeah.
So what I felt like is kind of like what Don Richardson used to say is it's just sort of two talking heads.
Yeah.
And it could, if I turned the volume down on the television, it could be any story. It could be the two of you talking about going to Nordstrom's to buy some shoes. It could be, hey, I really don't like your hat.
Yeah.
And I need the story told so effectively through behavior, through emotion, through the objective, through all those things that create behavior, without even having to hear the story. I mean, if this is done right, then the audience is going to be able to get, this is why if you watch a good foreign film and you don't know what they're saying, usually you still have a pretty good idea of what's happening.
Yeah.
Not exact, of course, but you have a vibe. I mean, you can see that somebody's angry, or two people are in love, or you know they're talking about somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but this could be any story.
Yes. Yeah.
And you also started the scene in a way that you had nowhere to fall from. In other words, you were already on the ground, Leo.
Okay.
Like you started the scene so clearly and obviously annoyed and pissed off. That where are you going to go from there, buddy? If a scene has a beginning, middle, and an ending, and it has to go somewhere, and you're starting at that place of anger, by the end of this, you're going to be stabbing him in the eye with a knife.
Yeah.
If there's a flow, and there needs to be. So my suggestion would be that you start the scene attempting to be courteous, masking what you're really feeling, and because Paul is such a good friend of yours, he knows something is up.
Okay.
Which is why he's going to say, can I sit? And then there should be this awkward silence between the two of you where nobody's talking.
Okay.
And eventually, the thing you're going to talk about, really what you want to talk about is, hey, Paul, you really want to talk about is, you know, hey, well, why are you upset? And him saying, well, you didn't talk to me over the whole summer, you've been rude and cold, and neither of you talk about that for a reason. And it didn't come up one time. The whole thing about the job and the whole thing, right? So that tells me a lot about their relationship. It tells me a lot about what kinds of people they are. Like, for example, it says to me, hey, neither of these people are good with conflict. Neither of these guys know how to deal with conflict with another person. Like, for example, even you, Paul, like, you know, this girl wants to be with you romantically, but you don't want to be, but you go to the prom with her anyway.
Yeah.
Because you feel bad. Right?
Yeah.
So it just seems like that's a character flaw. Both of you. Neither of you say, I mean, Leo, you don't say, where have you been?
Yeah.
Instead, you kind of passive-aggressively go into this whole conversation about athletics and this guy who died and the whole thing, but not once did you ever say to him, dude, where have you been?
True.
And that's the underlying story here that we missed.
Yeah.
So I can be talking to you about anything. Paul, I could be talking to you about baking cookies. And if you blew me off for 3 months, and I'm saying, yeah, cookies are really good. Yeah, chocolate chip is my favorite. And you say, no, oatmeal's bad. I don't know what's with oatmeal today. But you know, I really like this, and you like that. But underneath it, there's this whole other vibe going on.
Okay. So, a question. There should obviously be like an emotion or objective change after.
Yeah, you're going to have a change, absolutely.
So that's like new information.
New information.
Okay.
Like, I didn't even know he was angry. Why are you behaving this way? What, did Betty talk to you already?
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, you're getting sort of booted out of the camp by everybody right now. You don't even know what's going on.